Hi, good evening, everyone. We'll just wait for some time for other people to join. Uh, it's still 1 minute to 7, and let's just wait for some time. Yeah, we will take just 2 more minutes, and then we'll go live. We're waiting for uh, clock to strike 7. Right, I can see a few people have joined, and right. So it's 7 o'clock. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this live stream from Protect Academy. Today's aim is to understand the importance of audits in managing information security. Right, we all know it is directed towards CISA certification. I myself am not CISA certified, but yes, I'm aware of the nuances of audit, and that's why I thought it is important that once we look into audit space and compliance space in the industry today, I feel that there's an immense scope in the audit environment. Having been from the armed forces, now dealing directly with national critical infrastructure, having direct contact with people at the top of the affairs, I'm aware that huge compliances are going to come in, and audit as a space in information and cybersecurity, it's definitely going to be a booming career space today. Right. So my main aim is not to explain, CISA certification. Most of you know what CISA certification is all about because we all do our research. Okay. I'll definitely relate CISA to audit careers. My main aim is to tell you that how audit career is actually shaping up in the industry, right? I'm the founder of Protect Academy. I'm Colonel Shubhajit Na, and we have taken a mission to take it forward to, skill as many, professionals as possible, right? I am a master's. I got a CISSP degree. am a AWS security specialist, CCNA, CCIE. The list is long. I don't want to, scare you all with that. Okay, I have more than 24 years of experience in primarily network security, 4G systems, 5G systems, IP and PLS networks, and managing information security for almost 22 to 23 years. Okay, since 2003, I've been into the space, and that's what my credentials are. Okay, so our mission is pretty simple. We want to, reach 1 lakh figure in training people and provide talent pool. Uh, now, what is the environment today? Okay, if you look at the information space today, it's rapidly changing. We are moving from cloud to on-premise, on-premise to cloud, hybrid, right? People are now having private cloud implementations. There's a lot of hardware which is lying in our data centers, and we rapidly move to cloud and then realized, oh, cloud is very expensive, let's go back to on premise or maintain it as uh, a hybrid environment. Now, a lot of organizations are moving cloud first, means let's not have any resources. We don't need any physical infrastructure. Let's just go along with, you know, software as a service. We just need operations. We do not need infrastructure. So if you look at the environment is rapidly changing. Threats are multiple. I look at a firewall log, and within 10 seconds, you can see everybody scanning your firewall. So threats are multiple. There are internal threats, there are external threats, there are APTs lurging around, and the moment you are connected to the internet, if you have visibility, you can see that there are numerous threats on your network. Right now, once we talk about threats, is threat only in the cyberspace, or threat are there in the physical space? It's a multi-dimensional threat. So what happens is, the threat is multifold. The regulatory environment is changing. If you look at US, regulatory framework started coming sometime in early 90s, and they have matured a lot. If you look at India, if you look at Europe market again, Europe privacy standards and regulations are pretty high. But once you look at cybersecurity or information security practices, yes, there's a beautiful standards 27001, but still most of the countries are lagging behind in a cybersecurity framework. Compare that to the APAC region. India, yes, it's still in the developing phase. Compliances are coming in. We have a data privacy bill. We have National Critical Infrastructure Bill. We have Department of Defense compliance standards. There are a lot of standards and there are a lot of compliances which probably, you know, we are not aware of. And there are beautiful compliances still in a lot of industry space. So there's a whole lot of compliance which needs to be met, right? That is the second regulatory environment. Now, there are a lot of external dependencies. We whether it's a large organization or a small organization, we have multiple dependencies. It could be just simple outsourcing of hardware or outsourcing of services. It could be as simple as buying a SaaS service, right? So if you are depending upon certain services or operational requirements on third party vendors, you have external dependencies, right? And today we cannot survive without external dependencies. Then we need system trust. So when I say system trust is, you are procuring systems, you are outsourcing, taking services from outsourced parties. How do you develop trust? How do you ensure that what you are procuring is not going to cause vulnerability in your system, or it will not bring threats to your system? Whether buying a particular product increases your vulnerabilities. So whether you have that trust, can you develop that trust? And finally, it's all about reputation. Okay, once your reputation is at stake, we have to understand that today a small data lake brings in a good amount of damage to the reputation. So what is audit? Okay, now if you look at audit is not something new. Audit has been there for a long time. At least in the financial space, there has been audit for a very long time. There are huge amount of compliances to be met. If you have ever hired a chartered accountant's services, you will know there are huge amount of compliances to be met, right? uh, any organization which functions where there is accountability involved, audits will be there, because you cannot prove your accountability unless you audit your systems, your processes, your procedures. If they are not audited, human beings have a tendency to go lackadaisical. So there has to be continuous training, there has to be continuous involvement. And that's why audit is a process by which you can keep your uh, organization in check, not only for compliance, but so that your organization is effective and efficient, right? It's a systematic check of all your processes, procedures, compliances, and regulatory requirement. Now, audits can be carried out in, broadly in three manners, right? First is an internal audit. An internal audit is to say whether I'm all okay, whether all my policies are in place and being followed. So that check can be called an internal audit. But now, once we look at internal audit, are we competent to carry out internal audit? So, audit always relates to competence. The person who's going to carry it, or the team which is going to carry out audit, information security audit, is it competent enough to handle that audit? So, that is very, very important. The next thing is the external audit. So once you are not competent to handle an audit, what you do is you get someone external to carry out your internal audit. Such audits are called external audits. You go to some big fours or some auditing firm, authorized auditing firm, and you get their expertise to have an internal audit, because you yourself may not have requisite experience in carrying out internal audits. And finally, there are third party audits. Third party audits are audits which are carried out on behalf of, you know I'll say, on behalf of regulatory entities, or on behalf of somebody who has a oversight on your requirements, right? So that is called a third party audit. Now, something like banks in India will be under regulatory requirement of RBI, right? So RBI can force upon its regulatory requirement on you if you are a banking license holder. So if you look at the audit process, it's part of the overall governance, process of an organization, the governance framework of the organization. Okay, uh, you can have risk management as a process in the organization, and audit can form part of the overall risk management framework, because you cannot carry out risk management if you do not check your processes. So somewhere audit fits in the overall framework of the risk management, right? Then once you have done your risk management, you are going to find the control gaps, and then you're going to do control implementation and again reevaluate your gaps, right? So that overall forms the risk mitigation process, and that leads you to compliance, because you've maintained your security posture, and just because you've maintained your security posture, you are reaching your compliance. It should not be the other way around, that I have certain compliance ticks. Because I'm meeting the compliance ticks, that means that I'm secure. It is other way around. Just because my processes are set, my processes are very well defined, and that's why I am compliant. So always remember this particular part. uh, so once we look at internal audit can be internal audit is intrinsic to an organization. We can form part our internal audit processes, right? And it is generally carried out by internal or external teams. Now if you get an external team to carry out your internal audit, that is termed as external audit. So you get someone more relevant who can carry out external audit. Third party audits, as I told you, they are regulatory in nature. Somebody has an oversight on you, and you can get it. It is also at times, if your company is acquiring another company, or there's some merger taking place, or there is some even divestiture taking place, there could be requirement of third party audits, right? Just a second. So also third party audits are also carried out to align with industry standards. So if you have certain industry standards in place, you might be forced upon by the third party to carry out a internal or a review audit or a third party audit. Now compliance, as I said, compliance is okay, fine, you have certain regulatory and legal requirements and you are meeting them. Meeting them doesn't make you secure, right? Meeting them just makes you compliant. uh, Compliance, to achieve compliance, it's better that you be secure, and for that you need to have a complete information security process in place. Now once we look at the audit career path, you start as a GRC analyst or audit interns, and then you become a full grown audit professionals today are junior level audit professionals, mid senior level, and even senior level audit professional in the information security space, right? You can become a risk manager. Once you have taken the audit path, you can become a risk management professional. And finally, most of the CISOs, if you look at today's CISOs, they are all from the audit and the GRC verticals, right? So now I come to the main part of the topic, that how CISA, that it Certified Information Systems Auditor, can help you in achieving this audit as a career path line. Okay, so this is how I'm going to tell you about what is CISA, what is the conducting authority, how to prepare, and what are the timelines that are required. Now, if you look at CISA, Certified Information Systems Auditor, it is the only one, I'll say, audit certification which is focused completely towards information security audits. If you go towards management, there are multiple organizations. There is ISACA is there. There is ISC2 is there. So you have multiple organizations who are looking at I'll say information security management expertise, but only one certification which gives you an expertise to audit information systems, right? CISA has 5 domains, right? First is it explains you how to carry out an information security audit, then how to govern and manage, IT in organization, then how to develop information systems, when it is concerned with third party risk. That is, when you are doing acquisitions, when you're developing your program, and when you are implementing controls. The next fourth domain is information security operations and business resilience. So a lot of aspect of audit is to understand that whether your business is has capability to withstand interruptions, to withstand disasters. So auditors are also looking at that part where your systems are resilient enough to handle threats and undergo that uh, I'll say breakage in your business continuity. So business continuity somewhere becomes part of the overall audit process, right? So the final is you have to protect the information security assets, and how you protect those information assets. Uh, you know, uh, CISA deals with that particular domain, right? Right. So this is what the domains of CISA certifications are all about. Now, once we look at the exam resources, what are the exam resources that are required, right? So I'll say, one of the best things to read about. I've read the CISA review manual completely many times. I keep it as a review guide with me. If you look at CISA review manual, it's one of the most well laid document. Even if you don't want to give CISA, but you want to carry out audit, okay, you want to understand how audit is all about. So CISA review manual is one of the best documents possible to understand how information security audits need to be carried out. You can do a lot of practice tests. I don't recommend more than 300 to 400 practice tests, because exam is completely practical oriented, concept oriented. You do not have to remember anything, right? And you can take some mentorship sessions. There are a lot of people who are carrying out mentorship sessions. There are classes on Udemy. You can take mentorship sessions with our academy. Yeah, it's immaterial, but what I'm saying is having a mentorship helps, because we are all busy with our routine lives, and having mentorship has that pressure on to push you towards the certification. So why CISA? I must say that it's globally recognized. It's highly recognized. I find a lot of demand from US, from APAC region, Australia, Southeast, Middle East, and even South Africa. So there's a lot of demand. Means it's a global certification. Everybody is looking to certify and get CISA. I have one student. Her name is Yok Adioke. She was struggling with a job in Canada, and she asked her, what is it that I can do? And I said, okay, let me understand your requirement first and see your background. I suggested her a CISA certification. She did it. She cleared the certification within, I'll say, 2 months, and she immediately got job with a very good bank, Montreal Bank in Canada. And she is now doing CISSP with us. So what I'm trying to say is, it's a very good certification. Once you opt for doing the certification, what happens is you create a filter between a person who is not certified vis-a-vis a person who is certified. So if I am the hiring manager, and if there are two CVs in front of me, one is a CISA certified and another one is not CISA certified, my weightage will definitely go to a person who is CISA certified, even though the left hand candidate might be better prepared. I don't know, but in this crowd of competition, the CV which has a stamp of CISA gets through the ATS, to be very frank, right? You definitely get value to enterprise, because it's a skill up certification. Exam is just on the sidelines. The kind of education you get while being a professional, that's immense, right? And also at times, there are compliance requirements. Today banks are compliant. There's a heavy requirement in the banks to have CISA certified professionals to carry out internal audit. So please understand, banks, highly regulated entities, CISA is mandatory today for carrying out internal audits. Right. So how to prepare? Please read the review manual. I always tell any students, please read. There are no shortcuts to certifications. You should read. You should join some online classes. You should understand the concepts pretty well. The questions are always application oriented. Okay, the questions are never they are not going to check your cramming power. They are always going to check your application orientation. Okay. Give and take, if you are a working professionals, you will require roughly 2 to 3 months to prepare for this certification. How's the exam conducted? The exam is 4 hours exams. There are multiple choice questions. You have to attend, you have to give this exam at authorized PSI centers, which conduct this particular exam. Exams are always remotely proctored, so you are required to be very, very diligent and disciplined when you are uh, appearing for this exam. Right. The exam fee, it's a little expensive exam to give, around 575 USD for members who are members of ISACA, and 760 USD for members who are non-ISACA. I always recommend people to take ISACA membership because the membership itself gets you a lot of value. Right. Now we have a lot of training lined up. We have CISA weekend batches, we have CISM weekend batches, we have CISSP, which is one of the most in demand and gets filled pretty quickly. We are also having CompTIA Security Plus, uh, Certified Cloud Security Professional, GRC courses, and SOC Analyst courses. Right. So this is what I wanted to give you a little bit of I'll say inroads into what's happening in the environment today. Please subscribe to our page, Protect Academy, whether you're on LinkedIn or YouTube. If you want to do any courses or otherwise join our group, we have so many. Our community is so strong that a lot of people are getting placed. We keep posting jobs on our group, and it's a very nice place to have conversation. A lot of senior people are there from the industry in our groups. So please ping us, and you can become part of our team. And if you would like to join any of our courses or just contribute yourself, please, we will be more than delighted, right? Having said this, thank you for joining, and follow us on our page. And if you have any queries, drop us an email, visit our website, or drop us a message on the number given. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. And it was pleasure speaking to you all. If you have any questions, you can please type it out, and I can take on the questions. Uh, it is not crucial, but it is always recommended because the manual is very, very, I'll say, detailed. So it's not crucial. You can pass without reading the manual also. I can say this is in regards to Amal Abdul Sattar. So it's not compulsory to read, but once you read that manual, I will say it's a Bible, and we recommend reading that as a, as an exam guide. I'll not say it's crucial, but it's always recommended. Review manual is available for purchase, Harish. You do not have to necessarily take membership, but review manual is available as a purchase option as a digital copy. You can buy it on the ISACA's website. Any other question you can please ask? Harish, no prior audit experience is needed because uh, it's a generic certification. You do not need prior audit experience, but there is a requirement of being 5 years experience. But ISACA generally never checks that. 5 years generic IT experience, not necessarily audit experience, right? But I have never seen any student uh, who generally takes I'll say who doesn't have the necessary experience. Okay, so generally most of the people who take this Dancel, our training is not very expensive. We can't we didn't take the you can get in touch with us, Dancel, and we can let you know the pricing. Training is not very expensive. We are actually one of the most least priced in India, at least. So our pricing is around INR 18K. So you can divide it by 85. I think that's the pricing. So that's not the main aim here. How can you build a career in banking with CISA certification? So, Venkatesh, it's related to your question. Banking has a huge requirement for CISA certification personals because, see, look at banks. So, banks have a central headquarter, and then their banks are located everywhere. So, they have a lot of, internal audit requirement. There is a huge demand. I'm personally aware of many people who are CIS. So there are three certifications very well in demand in the banking sector. One is CISM, one is CISA, and definitely third is CISSP. I can tell you with my experience that the CISO position in banks you cannot get without a CISSP certification. That is one thing. So career building, you can start as a GRC analyst, and if you have CISA up your sleeve and you have certain IT audit experience, I will definitely recommend that you get CISA certification to get into the audit space for IT audits. And in India, at least, if you want to get into IT audits, please understand the RBI cybersecurity framework. It's very simple and it's available on the internet. You should go through it. If you are already in the banking sector, I will recommend you to read that. And it has huge scope. There are a lot of Indian banks. There are a lot of multinational banks which are there operating in India. There's Wells Fargo. There's Barclays. They do have they do I will say comply with the local rules as far as their own country specific rules. Yeah, Dancel, I think I've already answered your question. The training fees is roughly, I will say, around 300 250 or $300. Any other questions? I'll be happy to take. Yeah, Aditya, tell me. Yeah, hi Aditya. I can see your chat. So if you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, guys, I'm done with today's session. Since we have no other questions, thank you very much for joining, and I'll be ending this stream. Thank you, Harish. Thanks for the kind words. And thanks for joining, everyone. And I'm ending the stream. And if you have any questions, you can ping us on our group. You can also get in touch with the number which has been given, flashed on the slide, and we will get in touch with you. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye bye. CISM is still not saturated. No, I will not say CISM is saturated. CISM is still not saturated. But yes, to some extent, I'll say compared, if you look at two main certifications, CISSP definitely, CISA definitely. But CISM, I will say it's still not saturated. No. If we compare with how many number of professionals are there in India, we still maybe max 10,000, not even 10,000. It might be 5 or 6,000. That will the total number of people who are CISM certified in India at least. So I will say it's not saturated. What is saturated is your experience. If you have the leverage of experience, having a certification does help. That is the leverage you have. Right. Thank you. And I'm ending the stream. Take care and please join us next time. Bye bye.